Hello everyone, welcome back to Cloud Institution again. So Cloud Institution is the best software training institution, and today as part of this Terraform series, what we're going to do is that we are going to see another very interesting video series on Terraform, which is Terraform Workspace with environments. Okay, so what is Terraform Workspace with environments? Okay, so we are going to see that one. Okay, as part of this particular series, we already seen something about what is Terraform Workspace, right? So Terraform Workspace is the way to create a multiple instances from the same infrastructure in different environments, right? For example, you may have a deployment environment, staging environment, and the production environment. Okay, so each environment may require the same infrastructure but with the different configurations. All right, okay, so in the last video we have seen how to create the Terraform Workspace. So if you have not watched that particular video, please go and watch that video on Terraform Workspace. So this video will be continuation of that. Okay, now, so what are we going to do is that let's go to the terminal, the workspace, the Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to do a Terraform plan here. As you can see, I'm going to create one simple EC2 instance. Okay, so this is called resource AWS instance and web. All right. So now, as you can see here, Terraform workspace is equal to default. So whenever the Terraform workspace is default, is going to be, so it should be creating one instance, and then it's going to be, if something else, then it should be, so it should be skipping. So now what are we going to do is that, let's go and see the Terraform workspace. Terraform workspace show, so now it is default. Okay, so now for now I'm going to remove this Terraform count. Probably I'll come back to this later. Okay, so now as you can see here, Terraform workspace, Terraform plan, if I do a Terraform plan. So it's going to be creating a EC2 instance. Okay, so now what is going to be happening is that instance type is going to be t2.micro. All right, so because instance type is going to be t2.micro. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a variable of it. Okay, so where dot the instance type. All right, okay, so I'm replacing this as a where dot instance type. Now, okay, sorry, I'm going to make it as a locals dot instance type. Okay, so local dot instance type. Now what I did is I just mentioned this local, the instance type into local. Okay, now let's go back to the locals.tf. So I've made some configuration like this. Okay, so now what I've done is that, so in the common name is cloud institution. Okay, I don't want this one. Okay, for now I'm going to be deleting it. Now the select environment is equal to be terraform.workspace. Okay, terraform.workspace, and then instance type is equal to be, so the instance type, because I'm just referring local dot instance type. So the instance type in the local, this is going to be, so instance type is equal to lookup. So I'm going to cover the lookup function in the, the next classes. So now I'm going to be looking up that locals dot instance type select. So which means that, so the instance type will tell you that, okay, hey, please go and check. So please go and check, instance type is equal to be select. Okay, so then the local dot select env. Okay, select environment. Okay, so this is going to be default ones. Okay, so this is going to be the default one. So now what is happening is that, so because the workspace is default is going to be taking t2.micro. Okay, so now I'm going to show you that what is going to be the null is also, maybe in the next video. Okay, now what happens is that if I do Terraform plan, so what's going to happening, because it is the instance type is equal to locals dot instance type, and the that workspace currently is in, okay, does not, is not been declared. Okay, let's declare the Terraform. Okay, I think I didn't save this one, so because I mentioned locals, so it's not the variables. All right, okay, now we can see it's going to be picking up the, okay, t2.micro is picking. The reason being, it is just it's just going and telling that, the workspace. So currently the workspace is default, that's why it is going and picking up a, picking up t2.micro. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make Terraform, workspace new the dev. I'm going to create dev. Okay, now I'm going to show you that what's going to be the problem now be facing. So now Terraform workspace list. Okay, so I have a dev and then default is there. Okay, now the Terraform workspace is got selected to dev now. So but I don't have a variable called dev over here, right? So there is no dev is been mentioned over here, right? So instance type is equal to be, if it is default, is going to be t2.micro. All right. Now what happens if you do a Terraform plan? Okay, so instance types, one of the instance type launch type must be specified, because I'm not specified because the dev workspace is not listed over here. Okay, because I've created a workspace for dev, but the workspace for the instance type as a variable is not being mentioned. Okay, so what I have to do now is that I'm going to change it to dev over here, because I've created this workspace over here, then it has to be replaced over here. Now if we go on change the Terraform plan, what happened? Okay, so now it's going to be still showing that tutor.micro. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a Terraform. Okay, so workspace. Okay, workspace new. Okay, so new is going to be staging. I'm going to make a staging. Okay, okay, staging. All right, now I'm going to do a list, the workspace list. As you can see here, Terraform workspace now is pointing to staging. Now it should be picking up that t2.medium instance. Okay, now we'll just go back and see Terraform plan. As you can see here, the Terraform plan should be taking up t2.medium instance. Okay, so similarly, what we can also do is that we can go back and do the Terraform workspace new to prod. Okay, so now it's a prod. Okay, now if I go back and Terraform do a plan, all right. So now if you can do Terraform plan, what it should be showing? It should be showing like a t2.large. Okay, so that prod it shouldn't be t2.large. Okay, so now this is what it is, right? Because there's local dot select nv is going to be Terraform workspace. The Terraform workspace is what the Terraform workspace it will be showing that whether it's a prod or staging or whichever the environment is going to be. Okay, that is what something, for example, now again Terraform select Terraform workspace select default. Okay, so if you can do a default one, okay, so now what's going to be happening is that it's going to be list. If you go to the list, the currently workspace is default. Okay, so as we've seen before, the default will not be having any kind of value, so it should be like Terraform plan. If you can see, it'll give you the error. Okay, so this is what called, okay, this is what called uh, so Terraform workspace, so how the Terraform workspace will be used for different environments. Okay, so this is what called, so as you can see, so staging and pro developments environments, production environments, so these are all things will be created. Okay, so hope you like this video, right? So this video is very informative. If you want to use for the real time, this kind of a confidence will be really helpful. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and see you again in the next video. So if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, so stay tuned for the next videos on Terraforms. Okay, thank you, guys.